believe that we started recording right in the middle of 2020 with all of the COVID and lockdowns going on around us, unable to meet up. So like many a young gentleman, we turned to the internet for our entertainment. Tried to find a place where we could meet up and talk about the good, the bad, and that time that Stu saw a pelican on the canal. In order to facilitate our dreams of answering all of the big questions in film, and after a few attempts at recording via other methods to various levels of success, we found Zencastr, a super easy web-based one-stop shop for recording. Log in and you're ready to record in a matter of seconds. It doesn't take a tech genius to get high-quality audio or video. And on top of that, the one time we have had an issue, the fact that the multi-layered backups are stored locally means it's easily fixed all in browser. There are plenty of tools you need when you start podcasting, so let Zencastr take that headache away as it offers a place to record, edit and distribute all from one website. Any lazy bones Jones can pick up and play and have studio quality audio or 4K video put out for the world to see when using Zencastr. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code CAGEFIGHTING and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experiences we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. And now, hit the music.
I feel the need for speed.
Hello and welcome to Cage Fighting. It's your main man, Andy Gillard here. Hope everybody's keeping well in the world right now.
Hello, everyone. And you know, when you next time you go to you walk the boards, are you going to start singing the Englishman in New York Harry Kane song when you're there?
Oh, that thing can fuck off. It's horrific.
With a little dance.
It's awful, awful. Like I just find football song. I find songs that are adapted to something else to be really cringy, but when they're adapted to football stuff, it just makes my arsehole clench. It's horrible. It's weird. I don't like it. I
saw one today of that Astrid Wet, or whatever her name is. She was dancing on the streets doing it as well. Oh, well, good for you. What a world.
Fair play to the girl. She's found her niche and she works it well.
Well, so does Bonnie, but
no.
I'm not even sure which one this one is. I know it's one of the.
She's the Chelsea one.
She's the Chelsea one.
I know there's these dipshits on Twitter I've seen way back when, but yeah, it's not the world I have any interest in.
Have you seen Letitia's daughter? Oof.
She's his daughter-in-law.
Rough.
What a world! Like Southampton have their own. It's not even a wag, is she? I don't actually know what you would call these people, but they just seem to make money off football clubs. Like, what a fucking world we live in! It's just horrible.
Yeah, OnlyFans girls.
It's crazy. It's a crazy, crazy world. Anyway, gents, we are officially in July at this point, so we are over halfway through the year, so it's time to look back on the first 6 months of the year and give some recommendations. It doesn't necessarily have to be the best film that you've seen in that category, but just one that you've enjoyed and would recommend to others. I think before we do all the good stuff, though, let's get the negative out of the way first and foremost. Stu, what is the film or TV show that's let you down most this year?
I mean, it was not even a question for me, this answer. I mean, the fact that I've watched all 96 World Cup games so far, and obviously I want to watch them all, and only 10 of them have been not live. It's quite an impressive amount. That nonsense from last night could have been put on there. That was something else. But no, it has to be Supergirl for me. It was such a disappointment from what we had last year with Superman. Superman was fun and jovial and and then you think, okay, put a pissed up car in this and it'll be a bit of a laugh. And it was just, I said it reminded me of Black Widow a little bit, which I like Black Widow. And like Wakanda, the second Black Panther film was a bit bad. It was just so bland. It felt like the end of the world of these things. That if this was a Marvel film, it would have been absolutely destroyed. It would have got like 20%. but because it's James Gunn adjacent, it's kind of got a little bit extra. It was just a massive letdown, and I don't care about reviews or whatever. I make my own mind up, and some of the films I'm going to mention on this are not going to be reviewed very well. But Supergirl, it just pissed me off. I was bored, and I didn't expect to be.
I kind of feel like it lacked a bit of its own identity. I mean, I didn't dislike it, but I wouldn't say I particularly loved it either. I thought it was fine, which is a bit of a damning indictment, I think, because I really enjoyed Superman as well, and it was just there, wasn't it? Yeah, I get what you mean. Ash, what's your biggest letdown?
I'm really trying to find something else because it is Supergirl, I think. But I'm just trying to find something else, and I'm really struggling because I think in general, we've been eating quite well this year, which is a good, real thing, to be honest. To say that I'm struggling to find anything else that I really think. The only bad films are the films I had no real hope for anyway. Like Scream 7, we all knew Scream 7 was going to be awful.
Yeah.
I kind of hoped Return to Silent... Maybe, I'll go with Return to Silent Hill because I had hoped more than anything that they might be able to do something. But it was the worst movie I've seen this year. So I think by proxy, it's fucking dreadful.
It's not a game series I played, and I don't think I've seen the film, so it wasn't even on my radar, to be perfectly honest with you. Why was it that bad?
It's just boring. Like, I'm probably of a bit of a minority. I like the first film. The second one was a bit iffy, and then this reboot is blatant dog shit, man. Like, so
no Sean Bean, no party.
Fair. Much like you, Ash, like my biggest letdown isn't one that, you know, I Scream 7, I knew it was going to be shit. I didn't like Scream 5. I hated Scream 6. I didn't think Scream 7 was all of a sudden going to be the best film ever. So I think you're going to hate me, but I didn't really like Toy Story 5. It just wasn't needed, if I'm being honest. Like, it's not a disaster, and it's not a bad film by any stretch of the imagination. The animation's, you know, beautiful. The gag rate is solid enough. It's just that it felt kind of cynical to me, that it was just this... We've had this perfect ending with Toy Story 3, and then they stretched their luck and somehow gave us a really good Toy Story 4, which had a wonderful ending, and, you know, Woody goes off to be a free toy in the world. And then the minute this movie starts, Woody just comes back for reasons. Like, it almost felt a little bit Palpatine has returned somehow. I didn't dig it. It felt a lot like Disney were just trying to sell toys again, which I know that that's like their prime thing, but I don't feel like when I've watched Toy Stories 1 to 4, that was the main driver, whereas this one did feel like it was the main driver of its existence. I found it a little bit cloying, a little bit mawkish. It was quite overwrought. It was just too try-hard. Like, the amount of times they were like, oh, are you crying yet? Are you crying yet? And I was just like, no. It felt cynical, and I just didn't love it in the way that I wanted to. But I did like Conan O'Brien's Smarty Pants. That's the highlight of the film. I thought he was excellent. But yeah,
I did say this at the time. I straight away, I said this is going to be aimed at a certain group of people, and I don't know if it's going to work for others. Like Little Dan said the same thing as you. He didn't do anything for him, and yet little kids and parents and people with hearts, it hit perfectly. But yeah, if you're not in that group of people, this film is not for everyone like the others were. Not at all. Like
there were plenty of tears in the rest of the cinema. I just felt a little bit cold with it, unfortunately. I was a bit disappointed. I kind of hope that they leave it, but I'm almost certain we'll be having a conversation in another 4 years' time where they'll be talking about Toy Story 6. It's frustrating, but what can you do?
I feel vindicated when I said about I feel like 4 was the gateway and this is what they wanted to get to. I feel like I was right with that. Like 4 was just to get you used to Bonnie, so that the things hit a bit harder.
Now, Ian Wright mentioned on Stick to Football yesterday, or the latest episode anyway, about how he was watching Toy Story 3 and it made him cry again at the end.
I don't think I've cried at any of the Toy Stories, to be honest. I know everyone goes on about it, but
again.
I mean, I fucking cry at everything, and Toy Story did not make me cry.
The end of 3 is the fucking one.
They're good. I mean, I'm not going to say otherwise. They are good films, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on. First category I've got up is the all ages film. So something that if you're 8 or 80, you might get a kick out of it. Ash, you can go first this time.
I'm trying not to say the obvious one because it is the obvious answer, isn't it?
Which one have you got? Which one?
Well, we know what the obvious answer is. It's Sheep Detectives.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I avoided that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But I am going to go with the Netflix Swapped. I'm pretty sure I've said about it before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's your Freaky Friday version with Michael B. Jordan, and what's her face from Ted Lasso? I can't think of her name. Not Hannah Waddingham.
Keeley.
Juno. Yeah, Juno Temple. It's a very lovely little film. It's a Sunday afternooner. Sit on the sofa and say Freaky Friday, switch lives, see how things go. Lovely little film.
Nice. Stu, have you seen that one, Stu? Because you nodded when he mentioned it, and I don't remember it, but
yeah, we briefly met because he briefly mentioned it a few weeks ago. Because there was two of them. One of them we both watched them in the same week. We never talked about them. It was that and Mercy. No, we saw Mercy, didn't we? What was he? Oh, Apex.
I remember we talking about Apex. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, mine was. I mean, Toy Story 5 was the obvious one, but everyone's going to do that. The other one, Hoppers. I was quite surprised with it.
I never got round to it. Was it good then?
It's on Disney Plus now. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just. I mean,
I enjoyed Hoppers.
Yeah, it was. If anything's just very enjoyable, then that's what Hoppers was. It wasn't like, yeah, you have to be thoughtful and it's kind of bury into your soul and all this kind of thing. It was just a fun film. It was great.
Yeah, I think we could do with more of those things. Like, not everything has to be fucking the deepest thing ever. Sometimes it's just nice to have fun, isn't it? And I think that's where I've gone with mine, because I went with, it's not the Sheep Detectives, but it's Goat. I really enjoyed Goat. It's just a very nice little film that I think everyone would enjoy and probably get something out of. It's quite warm, it's funny. The animation in it is absolutely stunning. A film about a young goat trying to make his dreams and his reality fit together whilst teaming with a ragtag bunch of weirdos. Like, everyone's got their role in it, and it's very funny. If you like a sports film, it very much follows the tropes of a sports film. Big heart, big laughs. And it's a tone that I don't think is ever too childish for grown-ups or too grown-up for children. It finds the pitch really well. And because it's Sony, like, I love Sony's animation stuff over the last few years. Like, post-Spider-Verse, I really like how they do it. And Goat was just another one added to that. I really enjoyed Goat.
I never even heard of this film.
It's a nice little film.
It's what's his name? Caleb thingy from Strange Things. McLaughlin, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this now. I've no recollection of it's basketball, that's why. Is that Steph Curry?
Yeah. I think he's the producer on it, I think. And he does have like a minor role in it.
Oh, David Harbour? Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's solid. I really enjoyed it.
I'll put that one on the list.
Up next then, documentary. Stu?
I only actually watched one all year. And I was into the Manosphere, just because of how fucking crazy it is. I know there's other ones on Netflix that I've got to get to that have been World Cupified and they're put on the back burner. But that one that you sent us as well, that one about why aren't there more dinosaur movies, that YouTube documentary, I thought that was really clever, right? Yeah, really interesting. I'd never thought about it before.
Was it Patrick H. Willems, that one?
Yeah.
I really like his YouTube stuff. He's excellent. Like, he's a very good critic and analysis of film culture. He's brilliant. But yeah, that's a great video, that one is. I'm quite surprised that you've not seen one, because like, you're a bit of a whore for the Netflix crime documentary. And
oh yeah, there's just such a backlog of stuff that them kind of things, they're just so throwaway. I watch one of them before everyone's asleep, and then I'll watch something else. But then I know what'll happen. What I always do, and now there's no Queer Eye anymore. I'll just watch him in Whitby in a few weeks, like one every night before I go to the pub.
That's fair. That's fair. Ash, any documentaries on your list?
I struggled a little bit, but I can't remember. Was the Jamie Vardy one this year?
Yeah.
Probably that one then. He's a bit of a shitbag, but it was actually quite interesting to see him, learn about him a little bit. I'm quite advantaged because, obviously following Chester a little bit, I saw him at Stockbridge Park Steels, so I saw him at the Rise before he was big.
Yeah,
so.
that one and the Vinnie Jones one that were both this summer.
I haven't seen the Vinnie Jones one. I didn't even realise they'd done one. Is that Netflix as well?
Yeah, it's the same. It's Untold. Same thing.
Oh, okay.
Crazy.
I mean, that's interesting because obviously I think of everyone who's an actor, he's had like quite an interesting rise, and everyone who's a footballer, he's had the most interesting post-career. So, yeah, I imagine that's quite an interesting one to watch.
Yeah, and it's more about, I think the acting thing's like the last 10 minutes, really. And the rest of it is actually about his career, which obviously for Americans have got no clue at all. But there's some of the things I remember. And yeah, he was, but it makes him out to be a complete thug, which obviously he was, but he was actually a lot better than people remember him for.
He was a decent player. He was just a bit of a shitbag, and he's probably remembered more so as a shitbag than a decent player.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there have been some decent Netflix documentaries this year. The Crash is probably the one that I think's been the most talked about, especially over the last few months. Maternal Instincts I thought was quite good and crazy and kind of what you expect from Netflix. The Lucy Letby one is also a decent one to watch. But the best documentary I've seen this year is Epic, Elvis Presley in concert. Like, it was just phenomenal. I think it's because it isn't just like a biography. It's a resurrection of his career in the late 70s during his Las Vegas residency. And it's a good companion piece to Baz Luhrmann's 2020 Elvis. They restored a lot of the footage that was, previously unearthed from the shows back then. And it's really good that, like, they cut between parts where he's in rehearsals and you can see that he's working hard and trying to get everything perfect. And then it cuts to him just goofing around like a bit of a dick. And then he's on stage and he's just fucking magnetic. And you get to see all these different facets of Elvis. And I think he's been dead 50 years almost. Is it sure? Like, I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's a good long while. And when I went, it was a Monday night. It had been out about 3 weeks and I'd finally got around to it. And the cinema was still half full. Well, even at that point, people were still turning out to see it.
The king.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, he's still got that magnetism that pulls people in. It was really well made. I thought it was excellent.
Well, like the Baz Luhrmann film, that when we went to watch that, and it was pretty full then, and that was just after COVID, wasn't it? So
yeah, it was. Yeah, great. Did you get around to Epic in the end, Stu?
No. I think you went like the last week it was on.
I think I did. Yeah.
Let's see if it's on the service.
Yeah. So the next category then is action. I've gone straight down the middle, He-Man. It's just pure, uncut, Saturday morning cartoon mayhem on the big screen with real people in it now. It's bright colours, big muscles, bigger swords. It's silly. It is completely allergic to any cynicism. When I say the action is chunky, I think you might understand what I mean, because it is so overblown and ridiculous, and the way things just bounce off the walls, that it's bordering on comedic how it's done. And it absolutely needs to be, because it is a proper homage to the original 80s cartoon, rather than how Transformers is trying to make it its own thing. This is what you loved as a kid, and this is it now as an adult. It doesn't try to change anything. It's big silly fun for big silly children like us. And I kind of hate the fact that it's going to end up being Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves, because not enough people saw it, but everyone who did see it absolutely loved it and want more of it. So yeah, He-Man for me is probably my action film of the year so far.
I think with that one though, I don't understand what they said. It's kind of like a copy, but it's literally primed to live again. That this will be one of them that as soon as it goes on streaming, it'll be taken over, because it is. I mean, it was obviously my answer as well. Well, I had this and another one that could have been an action or comedy, either or. So I'll just leave it in here. Yeah, it was a great old time, and it didn't. I mean, yeah, it looked shit, but it looked shit deliberately, which made it better. And
yeah, because I kind of went in with rock bottom expectations, because it did look like it was going to be a bit wank, and it just fucking wasn't.
Yeah, and the action is better in this than the other one. When we'll come to it, but it was. I mean, I just had a smile on my face the whole time. I think you're effectively watching a cartoon in live action, which is exactly what it is. It doesn't try to be anything else. It doesn't try to tell a story. It's fucking stupid, and it's a great old time. That's all you need an action film to be. Absolutely,
mate. Absolutely. So what's the one that you're replacing He-Man with on your list, Stu?
I'll just keep He-Man an action for now.
Okay.
I'll do comedy when we get to it.
Keep it to the comedy. Okay, sound. Ash?
See, I've spent most of my time trying to think what one Stu would go for, because I was convinced that there was two that I've tried to dodge just because I thought he was going to go for them. So I went, and I'm surprised you didn't mention it, I've gone for They Will Kill You. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great little film. Obviously, the premise it's a bit silly bollocks, but the action in itself is a lovely film if you like your action film. What's the name of the girl? Is it Zazie Beetz? I think that's potentially a bit of a coming out film for her in that role.
I've been a fan of her for a while, and I'm glad to see her anchoring a film. And it's not like, I mean, she was in there with Patricia Arquette and Heather Graham, so it's not like she's the best known of the bunch, but yeah, to be the lead in that film, and yeah, she was brilliant. I definitely want to see more of her in that type of role.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. Up next then is comedy. Stu, what you got?
The Wrecking Crew. Yeah, it just had to be in there. It was... I said about having a smile on your face. I mean, this could easily be, like I said, this could be action as well. But the action, it's so shit that it's funnier than it is impressive. The CG especially, but it's in the whole streaming service dumb fun category. But it's actually funny, and it's just Jason Momoa having a great old time yet again, and you can see that he's having a great old time. As he does in most films, but this one especially, it's just a good laugh, and I think it suffers a little bit because it's one of them where it came out with about 6 other things. What's its rating at the minute? 6.4 on IMDb, perfect. It's a buddy comedy film, which we don't have anymore. And especially with Batista as well, it's just good fun. That's all we need.
Like, I don't even remember this coming. I had to Google it when you mentioned it. Once I realised it was Momoa and Batista, I vaguely remember hearing about them being in a film together, but I couldn't have told you the title of it. So it feels like that one's completely passed me by. It's like
a B-movie version of Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay.
I think you'd actually really love it.
Oh yeah, it's good fun. Like, I'll attest to that. I sat there and had a smile on my face for pretty much all the movie.
Excellent. Like, I think Dave Bautista is a very good comedic actor. He's got chops. Like, I think he's solid. So yeah, I'd be all in for that kind of film. Did you ever see Stuber from a few years ago with him and Kamal Nanjiani?
Yeah.
I like Dave in that kind of a role, the buddy cop, buddy comedy kind of film. He's kind of perfect for it because he doesn't look like he should be as silly as he actually is, and it works really well for him.
So it's got Marina Baccarin as well, you know.
Oh, I do like a bit of Marina Baccarin. Exceptional. Ash, what's your comedy?
I've got a TV and I've got a film for this one. TV, Rooster. I don't think I've not heard anybody else speak about it apart from me and you, to be honest. And I think it deserves a bit more. It deserves some respect on its name.
Mm-hmm.
And for the film, I've gone dark comedy, because I think it needs to be told about. But Send Help. I really enjoyed that movie. It's a Sam Raimi film, so I was always, and a Rachel McAdams film, but I really enjoyed Send Help. In them sort of movies, I think he shines, and I think let her go batshit crazy, and I think Rachel McAdams can just shine, and she's a superb actor.
Yeah, she was fantastic in that. I don't know what happened, but I never got to see it at the cinema for whatever reason, and I was quite annoyed that I didn't too. And then when I actually finally got to see it, I was even more annoyed because I think it would have been great in a big room. Because like some of the more horror moments in it are quite squishy, and I think it would have popped on a big screen in a way that maybe didn't quite on the small screen. But it's still a very good film. I did really enjoy that one. And yeah, Rooster was excellent. I mean, it's obviously it's Bill Lawrence. How many times do I need to mention Scrubs? Like, it's his world, and I think he's one of the best at show-running comedies. He's absolutely excellent. If you need a comedy with a heart, you go for Bill Lawrence every time. And he doesn't miss. Like, he was great in this. Jamie Tart playing an English arsehole. He's just what he was born to do, isn't it? Let's be honest. Yeah, I thought that was great. Really good show. The comedy that I've gone for is Nirvana the band, the show, the movie. On the face of it, this does not sound like the kind of thing that I would like, but it is a docu-fiction sitcom web series that was then turned into a film. So the web series was originally called Nirvana the band, and it is a couple of friends who are utterly delusional, who are in a band called Nirvana, but not that Nirvana. And every short episode is them trying to get a gig at I think it's called the Revelori or something, which is just some bar in Canada. It's just weird. I've never seen it before this film, and then I'd heard a few early reviews of it, and I thought, I'll give it a go. And it is utterly chaotic madness. It's so strange, and it's quite fearless. It's this meta comedy that sort of weaves in and out of these old episodes. So you see the two guys as they are now, acting with themselves as they were 10 years. And the footage is quite seamless, how it blends into each other. It's so strange. And going into it completely blind with no experience of this show, it was like part of it was, he's clearly filming that, holding a phone camera. These parts are like guerrilla filmed. It's not scripted comedy. These are just approaching people in the street, talking to them in parts. And then there's other parts where it's scripted, and there's bits where they die and then come back, and there's all this time traveling nonsense that's going on. It is so strange and so weird, and ended up being this absolute unexpected gem that I just giggled my way through like a child. Completely new to me. I've never heard it before. I've never seen anything outside of this film, and it was great. I'm really glad that I saw it, and it was just a bizarre little gem of a film that probably no one in this country's even heard of either, because again, who's ever heard of Nirvana the band that isn't the Nirvana the band? Strange, but brilliant.
It was featured on Effects Artists React on Corridor Crew on Saturday.
Was it really? Because genuinely, Stu, I think, because obviously you appreciate that side of things. If and when you get around to watching
I'll watch it tomorrow.
You will be fucking stunned at how they managed to act in the same room that they were in 20 years ago filming it, or 10 years ago, and the turn. It's mind-boggling, but it's really impressive.
Yeah, because I went to watch it this afternoon, the React video, and because it was Project Hail Mary, so they were doing all that stuff, but that was last, and they had that film in the middle, and I knew about it because you were talking about it before when it came out. I thought, bollocks. So I'm going to have to watch that. So I'm going to watch it. Let's talk about it next week. But that was my plan. I was going to watch it tomorrow afternoon and then watch that segment of the show because of it. I've done that before. But yeah, it's huge in Canada as well, apparently, according to our friend Brett.
I'd never heard of it until someone was talking about it on another podcast. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. And yeah, did not regret it one bit. I've asked all of you. I've asked you, Ash, for comedy.
Yeah, I said Rooster and...
Rooster, yes, you did. Yeah, that's it, yeah. So I'll come to you next, Ash. This is the most difficult one for me. Horror.
Yeah.
I counted there's 11 films this year, in the first half of this year, that I think that you could legitimately recommend to people as good horror movies.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at my... Letterboxd. 28 years. Primate. Send Help is technically a horror. I'm going to go outside the box a little bit, and it's my newest entry. It's the last film, second to last film I watched, because I watched Office Romance the other day. Yeah. I'm going for Over Your Dead Body. I quite enjoyed. I thought it was good. It's classed as a dark comedy as well. Stu looks very confused. I think you'll enjoy it. Jason Segel and yeah,
Samara Weaving, is it?
And Samara Weaving. They play a couple who have gone to a little retreat for the weekend.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing the thing for this. Yeah,
it's on Prime now. So I had a lot of fun watching that, and some of the things are very fucking gruesome, but I had a good old time. So I'll go with that one, just an outside the box one.
Brilliant. Stu, what have you got for horror?
I mean, I had a similar kind of thing. Like, I haven't watched that many, weirdly enough. I know Ed was like, why do you watch these things? But the only thing that made me feel uneasy all year, really, so far, was Backrooms. And that's not really a horror, I guess. But it's bizarre. And 2/3 of it are very eerie and very unsettling. So I think it's just by default that just has to go in there because of what I haven't seen.
Backrooms and Undertone are the only two films that I've legit jumped at this year. Actually, I don't think I jumped at Undertone. It was just the unsettling nature of the last 10 minutes which just fucked me up. And Backrooms, there's a couple of bits that just sent chills through my veins. But 28 years later, Primate, The Bride, Ready or Not, Here I Come, They Will Kill You, Undertone, Lee Cronin's The Mummy, Exit 8, Hokum, Obsession, Backrooms. We've gone years where we haven't had 10 good horror films. We've had a dozen so far. I mean, that's not even mentioning Send Help. I haven't seen Over Your Dead Body yet. So there are just so many films out there this year that have been horror related that have just smashed it. And we've been eating well this year, and I love it. I don't know why all of a sudden they seem to have come out in droves this year. It's been at least one good one a month, and probably at least one shit one a month, because I haven't also mentioned Scream 7. But yeah, it does seem to be we've had a lot of horror this year, and I love it. It's definitely what I want.
I said this last year, though, when we talked about this, that it really does seem to be like the Shudder effect. That platform proved that people want horror again. And you look at when it came out compared to when films would have been greenlit and made, it lines up.
It does. Yeah, it absolutely does. And I think people turn up for horror in a way that I don't think other genre get that support. I think regardless of whether you've got a good or a bad horror, us idiots turn up for it. Regardless, we want to support it.
It's the perfect date movie genre. If the girl gets scared and jumps and things like that, she goes under your shoulder, and you're the big macho man, even though you're fucking gripping the arm of your chair for your life. The amount of idiots that you'll see go into any old horror nonsense, it's unmatched. Them and Fast and Furious movies.
But I mean, even then, Fast 10 didn't do gangbusters. I feel like that genre they're the non-superhero films. They're starting to slow down a little bit more. But horror always sells, and books based on novels aimed at women.
Books
You're going to make
novels.
a fuckload. Sorry, films based on novels that are aimed at women. So, your Sydney Sweeney, what was it, Housemaid? What was it called? Was it Housemaid? That kind of film. It just fucking makes bank every time. You've got to look at Obsession, made for less than a million, has made 400 million. I know that's an outlier, but horror films making more than their budget back is definitely not. If you want to make a profit in Hollywood, make a horror film. They tend to not cost a lot. They tend to rake in a fair bit of money. So, yeah. I'm genuinely struggling to pick which one I would go for. Go for Lee Cronin's The Mummy. It's not the best. It's fucking funny, though. There's some proper squeamy parts in there. When it's still the part where the one young girl walks up to the door to talk to her sister through the door, and then you just see the mummy, the girl who's the mummy. You see her tongue come underneath the the door frame and licks the girl's toes. It just made me giggle like a schoolchild when I was watching it. And everyone just looked at me like I was a fucking weirdo. But it was funny, so fuck them. Okay, so the last category then is drama. I'll go first. My answer to drama is the drama. It's a very darkly comedic, razor-sharp drama that is based on a very dark admission from Zendaya days before her wedding to Robert Pattinson, and it sends everything into a tailspin. It's Christopher Borgley who did Dream Scenario, which we're a big fan of on this podcast. It starts off as like this quite kind of slick, quirky rom-com, and then quickly devolves into this quite tense, agonising thrills and chills, but with massively inappropriate laughs in there as well. Very character-driven, excellent performances from the two leads, and with a really good, strong supporting performance from Alana Haim. It's quite satirical. I loved it. There's a few jump scares that turn into laughter and a few laughters that turn into jump scares. It might be my favourite film of the year, I think. I really enjoyed the drama. I thought it was excellent. Stu?
I mean, you've mentioned it already. And I, despite what people are going to guess, I loved it despite her being in it. And the housemaid, I really enjoyed. And you can go and fucking see her tits anywhere you want. It's not a real draw anymore, is it? Then you're going to say no, but I really enjoyed it. And it's like a proper. It is a housewives film, and it's Mills and Boone come real.
Oh yeah, like it's trash, but it's fucking watchable, really enjoyable trash. Yeah,
it's. I don't really know what we don't have. It's like what Wrecking Crew was. Like we don't have bloody comedies anymore. We don't have films like this anymore. Like erotic psychological dramas, and
that's quite ironic when we'll be talking about Eyes Wide Shut shortly.
Oh well, yeah. Yes. Well, yeah. Considering how long ago that film was made, kind of proves the point. But yeah, I mean, I came out of it and I rang my mum straight away. I said, "You need to go and watch this. You'll love this." And she did it, and I was right again. Yeah, and I'm glad we're going to get a sequel, and this could turn into a thing. But I really, really love this film, and I think it's one of my third or fourth highest rated on my list of films of the whole year.
Incredible. Did you see that one, Ash?
No, I've got better things to do. Like I say, you can find the pictures you want to find elsewhere. I don't need to go to cinema for that.
Fair. What's your drama then, Ash?
I don't want to go for the obvious answer because I think the obvious answer is probably Project Hail Mary. Mm-hmm. But I went for, and I had to quickly check to see when it was released because it says on IMDb 2025, but it came out in the UK in 2026, so it counts. Rental Family. Brendan Fraser in Japan playing an actor who starts working as an acting family member for different things, playing a dad, playing a friend, playing a reporter, and all that sort of stuff. And there's genuinely some heartbreaking moments in that film that chokes you up and makes you really fucking sad. And it really got to me at certain points in that film. And I don't think I've heard pretty much anybody talk about it, and I think it deserves a lot more respect on that.
It's very sweet. Very sweet. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Just before we move on, we've only spoke about one of the top 5 box office films so far this year, and that was Toy Story 5, which is the third biggest grossing film. It's more than likely going to move up between now and the end of the year, because obviously it's only been out a couple of weeks. Number 1 is the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which is in just over $1 billion currently. Number 2 is Michael, which is just under $1 billion. Toy Story 5. The Devil Wears Prada 2 is coming in at just under $700 million, and Project Hail Mary is $5 million behind Devil Wears Prada 2. So I kind of like the fact that we do have a bit of variation in there. There's a bit of everything and a bit of something for most people, I think, in there. So it's quite good to see, because I feel like we are moving away from one kind of genre just dominating the box office year in, year out. So I do like that. I know we've had Supergirl, but we haven't had that many superhero films coming out over the last couple of years, and it does seem to be slowing down. But I do like the fact that we're getting a bit of a varied box office now. It's good to see. Stu, I presume you've seen at least 4 of those 5. I bet you haven't seen Devil Wears Prada 2.
No, obviously. Yeah, and I liked the Mario Galaxy movie. I know a lot of people didn't. But Project Hail Mary is my film of the year so far. Even with Sheep Detectives existing, Project Hail Mary was a 10 out of 10 at the time, and it still is now.
It's interesting because I feel like there was a lot of talk about it, and it's slowed down a little bit compared to us. I think the growth of Obsession, which is the 7th biggest box office of the year with 405 million, I feel like that's just dominated the last couple of months' conversation about everything, really. But Project Hail Mary was outstanding.
Obsession is like this year's Substance.
Yeah, I agree with that. It'd be interesting to see if it gets any Oscar attention.
It's got
because I don't feel like it's an Oscar-y film, but the bandwagon that's behind it, I think, it could probably carry it over the line.
I think she's going to get a nomination. She has to.
Considering Amy Madigan, I mean, she won this year, never mind getting a nomination. I wouldn't be surprised at that. I think that one's achievable, but yeah, that's just outstanding. So yeah, we've got Obsession and Backrooms, the 2 horrors that are in the top 10. Just fantastic stuff.
There's good discussion there for YouTubers becoming these directors and making these films, because they say they're just comedy. Well, Thingy was just a comedy YouTuber, wasn't he? Curry. And then this other lads, and all these multi-million-pound fucking directors having all this fucking budget and whatnot, and these lads have just come from their own fucking their mum's basements or whatever, doing YouTube shows and whatnot, and they're just rocking the fucking box office. It's great to see. Fuck
it
the
is.
man.
I think it's just the next evolution of art, though, really, isn't it? Because like everyone's got to start somewhere, and I know a lot of people turn their nose up at some of the YouTube directors, but like Stu, that Patrick H. Williams video, you look at the quality, the substance of how it's filmed, and everything that like makes up that. You can see that the effort that goes into YouTube videos now just like far outweighs what it would have been even 5 years ago, let alone any further beyond than that. Like they genuinely have some substance behind them, whether it's documentarians, whether it's comedians or horror, whatever it is. YouTube seems to be the place that you can grit your teeth a little bit and find your world, I think.
Yeah, especially when you can just use an iPhone on ProReg and do it that way, and then do it in post on a pretty average iMac at this point. Whereas even 10 years ago, that had cost you 20 grand. You can now
absolutely
do it for what, 3?
But I think like if you think back before you had YouTube directors becoming directors, the last time we had it would have been music video directors making the jump from making music videos to making feature films. And there was a similar sort of they just make music videos, like David Fincher did, Spike Jones did, Michel Gondry, Michael Bay. Like these are all people who've got a big history in music videos, who've gone on to make mega books. It's just the evolution of the game, I think, and I like it. I think it's fucking brilliant. I want more of it. Right, so let's take a quick break and then we'll talk about Doodlebug by Christopher Nolan. Welcome back. It's time for the short film review. This week we will be doing Christopher Nolan's Doodlebug. So I've tried to find some of his others because he's got like 4 short films. Doodlebug, Larceny, what are the other 2? Key, which is about the Key brothers. I think it's a short documentary. Don't know much about it. And the other one is Tarantella. I know I've seen Larceny because I think it's the same one that then leads into his first feature-length film following, but I can't seem to find it anywhere. So I thought, let's start with Doodlebug because that's the first one that I can find. Hopefully, as the month goes on, because I want to do a couple of episodes on Chris Nolan, we can find the other ones. But if not, there's plenty of other short films that we can replace it with. So let's do this one first. I will put a minute on the clock and I will come to you first, Stuart. 1 minute. Tell me when to hit go and then give us a review on 1997's Doodlebug.
So this is, like you just talked about YouTube directors moving into big things. I mean, considering this is filmed on very basic stuff, it looks amazing. Like, it could quite easily be made on things that cost hundreds of thousands of pounds. It looks great. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Weird, crazy. It's very, like you mentioned Fincher earlier, it's very like the third place advert for the PlayStation 3, where nothing really makes any sense. Very Twin Peaks. But it looks great for what it is. Just over 2 minutes long. Again, just very, very bizarre, but an enjoyable watch. Got to say nothing more, really.
Super. Thank you. Ash, give me a review on Doodlebug.
Go on then. I sat there and I saw, okay, I'm expecting big things here because it's Chris Nolan. Then I saw it was 2 minutes, and I was like, how much are you going to get out of 2 minutes? But fuck me, he got it out of 2 minutes. I thought it was a bit ropey. The VFX was a little bit ropey, but you can sort of tell, was it a uni project or something to that extent? Like, you can see it's an early idea for him, so you let it off for that. I immediately, when the penny dropped and it was the fucking process of there's a smaller him, yada yada yada, I was like, okay, this feels like it's the inception of Inception. Like, I could see this sort of going into that thing. It felt very Inception-y for me. As I say, apart from a bit of dodgy VFX, nothing to complain about. You can see where he's going with this. Very well done.
Excellent. Thank you. Right. So yeah, it appears to be a student film from the great director, showing a very surreal glimpse at how he manages to build tension within his world, and he manages to do it in under 3 minutes. Made in black and white, I think potentially to hide some of the issues that you would face on having what must have been a £10 budget, because it was just, there's very little going on here. But Nolan manages to show flashes of what we come to love about his work in later years. The camera work, the lighting used to make this no-budget movie into something genuinely interesting to watch. And not only interesting because it's like a look at a great director's early work, but genuinely a very interesting little tidbit of storytelling. At 3 minutes, it's not going to blow your socks off, but it's never going to open up like a whole new meaning of life. But it's an interesting little Lynchian horror story that certainly doesn't outstay its welcome. It's worth viewing on its own merits as well as being there for Nolan. Like, Nolan gets criticised for being something of a cold director. His films can be engaging, but not necessarily emotionally resonant. So if I'm going to give it any critique, it's going to be that. Cool. So next week, I'm going to try and find a Nolan one. If I can't get a hold of one, I reckon we should do The Disappearance of Willie Bingham, which I know I've spoke about before, and I think Stu's seen. Ash, I think you will really like that one. It's
yes, so will Ed.
And Ed will as well. But yeah, hopefully it'll be Nolan. If not, we'll bring The Disappearance of Willie Bingham up and we'll watch that one. That one is on YouTube. As is Doodlebug, so I'll put a link to that in the notes. The cruise will continue once again with Eyes Wide Shut. Welcome back to the final part of the podcast. Released September 10th, 1999. Just one day. The joke's almost there and it lets us down. I'm so disappointed. Eyes Wide Shut, starring Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise, Sidney Pollack, directed by the once great Stanley Kubrick. I don't know if I'm being harsh there. I did not enjoy this film. Stu, had you seen Eyes Wide Shut before?
Considering my obsession with my Batman Forever sticker book and the character of Chase Meridian, if I'd have known this existed, oh dear me, the things would have...
poster would never have got a look at.
Oh no, it wouldn't at all. No, I'd heard at the time that it was weird, so I just didn't bother. So I went in literally eyes wide shut. I had no idea what this was about. I think that's the best way to go into it, really. And spoilers. At no point was I bored somehow, and I couldn't take my eyes off it. I was fascinated, and normally this kind of pretentious wankery I hate anyway. We all know this. I love this. I don't know why.
Ash, I know you haven't seen it because, like you'd mentioned yesterday, it's the first time that you'd got it. Did you know anything about this film going in?
No, nothing at all. Didn't know that Nicole Kidman was in it. Didn't know anything. To the point that I went, it's Thingy was the hotel concierge boy.
Well, they're very, very camp. And
Shocker. Fucking what's his face was the hotel.
Alan Cummings.
Alan Cummings, yeah. I was like, oh shit, it's Alan Cummings. I was like, oh, cool. And I think that was the first and last time I smiled during that movie.
I remember it at the time, so it was like 99 that it was released, and I remember it being like the swingers film. It's Tom Cruise, it's Nicole Kidman, who were the two massive names at that point in cinema history, doing a sex film. I remember the tabloids all being about, oh, did they really have sex on camera and stuff like that, and then watching it, and this is the least sexy sex film I've ever seen. Like, all the weird, fucked up shit that we've watched for this part. This was so unsexy. It was just nothing. It was such a fucking empty vase of a film for me. It was so unfulfilling. At 2 hours, 40 minutes, I really did not enjoy this film. And I don't know if it's because I really like Kubrick stuff before this. He's weird. He's not always the easiest to understand. And I appreciate that, and kind of wondered if maybe that was why I didn't like this film, that I just didn't get it. But Stu, you're saying that you loved it, so...
I loved it, yeah.
What are we missing here?
I think because it is one of them things. I mean, I did... I didn't cheat and watch it at work. I'm probably on 1.5 speed or whatever nonsense you did.
If anybody from work is listening, I did not watch it at work.
I gave it the respect that it deserved and watched it properly. I honestly don't know, because it's... I mean, you are right. Like, they look like a couple who hate each other when they're on screen together. But I think that's deliberate. Like, it seems like it had to be, because otherwise, like, the whole thing of, like, was it just a dream? Was she there? I mean, you'd know your wife's tits, wouldn't you, really? If she's got a mask on or not. But the whole thing of, was she a part of the special house? Or was it just one of them things? Was it a coincidence? I think because it is so obscure and strange, and I do love Twin Peaks and all that kind of stuff, sometimes this was just one of them times where, I mean, this could be, I could have watched this like 2 years ago and hated every single second of it. But this time, for this showing of this film, I was captivated by it. Like all the weird stuff, like when he goes into the Mr. Ben shop, and you've got the two Japanese guys in there, or whatever they are, and they're just what? It's like Banzai. It's completely ludicrous. And then when he goes back in again, and then like, oh yeah, nothing's happening. We're all cool. What the fuck's going on? And the whole thing is like a fever dream. And I think that's why I enjoyed it, because I was so focused on it all that, like, he goes from one thing to another all the time, and I was never bored with it. And I got it. I don't know why.
Ash, was there anything you found positive about this film?
It ended. Honestly, like I couldn't bring myself. I didn't feel like there was any fucking substance to it. Like, there was no consequence. There was nothing. Like, she got high and then went, oh, I fantasize about getting fucked, and it's just like, and then this turn of events of, oh, I'm gonna go and wander around the fucking thing and go and see a prosy who then ends up having HIV for some reason, and I couldn't get into it. I was just sitting there, just like, what is the point of this movie? And like you say, he goes to this stupid house, and then they're all having awkward not sex, to the point where I was just sitting there going, "You're not having sex. You're not having sex." As a man who has had the sex, like you can sort of tense when it's not happening. Like, why would you put that on screen if you're not? I understand the whole fucking, you got to have the fucking chemistry and whatnot, and you can't actually be ploughing fucking going thingy deep, but like some of them fucking movements, it was just like, it was comedic.
Yeah, like there was parts, so I don't think you've seen The Room yet, have you, Bash? But in The Room, there's multiple sex scenes in The Room where he looks like he's fucking her belly button because of the angle that he's at. It's just clearly impossible. And I felt like that watching this. At no point did I buy into any of the not sex stuff. And because it felt so plastic and so not real, that it took me out of it. I thought it was quite... Sorry, Stuart.
What if it wasn't real?
Well, I mean, I think that's the point, but I am going to get to that in a little bit because that pissed me off. But yeah, I'll give you my good. I like the fact that Tom Cruise played against type here. I think he did so last week in Jerry Maguire, but to a much lesser extent. But in this one, he came across as impotent, as weak, and just exceptionally out of his depth, which I don't think we've seen from Cruise in pretty much anything else. But also saying that, I don't think Tom Cruise is very good in this movie at all. But I think that I will give him the benefit of the doubt just because he was trying something that we don't see from him. That's pretty much all I can say that's good here. Because the rest of it just did not work for me. I did not enjoy the dreamlike staging throughout this film at all. And I keep seeing this as a review, especially the more modern reviews, and I think people are just being very generous. I think it's just that it's badly made, it's poorly shot, and it looks like it's shot on a sound stage in London. It's not actually in New York, and it's not because Kubrick wouldn't fly over to New York for the scenes where they're supposed to be outside in New York. So Tom Cruise is just walking on a treadmill in front of a green screen, and it fucking looks like it. And I think people are saying that makes it look dreamlike, but to me, it just makes it look phony. I don't know if I'm being harsh there, but I don't know if people are imbuing it with something that it isn't because it's Kubrick, and you expect Kubrick to have these fanciful hidden meanings behind everything. And I just kind of wonder if it's because Kubrick died, obviously, before this film was released, that people are trying to find this hidden inner meaning that just doesn't exist here.
I mean, it wasn't a green screen. They actually built the set in London. And so it was literally at Pinewood. And you know what it reminded? It reminded me of Universal Studios. That part of the New York section of it I thought it, before looking into it afterwards, I thought that's where it was filmed. Because it's got where the waffle shop is, where now the Transformers ride is. It was that part of the street, especially when he's being followed. And I thought, this is not real. This is a state. I know I've seen this before, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was just the same set that they've moved over there. But that's probably looking into more things than that. I think you're right there. But it's not a dreamlike state. It's just because it wasn't filmed in a real place. Everything else, fair enough, but not that.
I think ultimately it's a really silly film that, from what I've been seeing, that a lot of people seem to think it's this super serious movie. And actually, I think it's really silly that, as Ash pointed out, Kidman gets high, tells him that she dreams of fucking some fella from the Navy. So all of a sudden he's going off and bumping into all these strangers who want to not have sex with him. Because he doesn't fuck anybody in this film. But it's all about fucking, and it's so bizarre. The only time I think we see anything, and we don't actually see it, we see him and Nicole Kidman buddying up together quite closely in the mirror, and then they go off screen to fuck, we assume. And I couldn't stop laughing because he fucking sidles up to her. He grabs her around the throat, and I thought, oh, this is going to be that kind of film, is it? He's going to choke a bitch. And he didn't. And he looked her dead in the eye, and I thought, oh, I can just imagine he stood on a fucking little apple crate so that he's the same height as Nicole Kidman, because she's 6 foot and he's 5'7". So that was all I had in my mind in that scene, and it just immediately destroyed any thought of it actually being sexy, because it was just silly. And then, sorry, Stu, yeah.
The weird thing about it, just looking at it, I mean, it's got 77 and a 74 on Rotten Tomatoes. How is it any film got that rating before? It seems very odd.
It's a very closely paired thing. You are right, but...
I felt like if you take them two out of this film, it's going to be on at fucking 11 o'clock on Channel 4. One of those fucking movies, the fucking blue movies that you want to have a crafty wank when your mum and dad go to bed.
Well, the cutaways when she was with a sailor, that felt very Red Shoe Diaries.
And the whole thing didn't it? Yeah.
We all watched Red Shoe Diaries. It's not like it. Was that Channel 4 or Channel 5? Feels like it. Was
that the one with Mulder in?
Yeah, David Duchovny, who's sitting by an apple tree, narrating.
I can't say I remember it that well. I thought the acting was quite abysmal throughout this, from everybody as well. I don't think anybody put a good performance. They were either like so far over the top that it looked awful, or they were so muted that they just mumbled and bumbled their way through everything. And the worst one, when he goes back to visit the sex worker and he's feeling up her roommate, and like the roommate is trying to tell him that her roommate has got the AIDS now, and he's got his hand up her top and feeling, and she's giggling, and she's got this really horrible message to tell him, and I was like, what are you doing? I couldn't figure it out. And then when she said, oh, she's got the AIDS, it reminded me of that scene in The Room again, when Lisa's mom says, but I've definitely got the cancer, and it never comes back to play in the film. And it just reminded me of that. The whole film just felt like it was throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And even if it doesn't stick, we'll just leave it in there because can't be asked to fucking edit this rubbish. The whole thing was just terrible.
There was a 5-minute sequence in that house, in the fucking sex house, where they were deciding whatever the fucking presentation thing was, where the fucking guy in the red mask, the red costume, is hitting the stick on the floor and looking at all the women, and it went on and on and on and on. And I was like, oh my fucking God, let's get on with this shit. And like, then he goes all the way around, and then he starts pointing. Does he like go to each girl, and the girl walks along, and you're just like, what's going on? Like, it's 2 hours 40 and 10 minutes of this. Is this?
It kind of, the story was sort of reminiscent of The Firm, and what's that other one, Stu? That other late 90s thriller where like a conspiracy comes at the game. It kind of reminds me of that. Like it goes along with a bit of a story, and then all of a sudden this shadowy cabal conspiracy comes in, and everything sort of tries to turn on its head a little bit. But the problem I had with it was that Cruise managed to see the sex people, but they weren't doing the sex. He didn't do any of the sex. Nothing happened. He saw nothing. It was all flat. It was all completely empty. And they tried to ruin his life because of that. I didn't buy any of it, because like he needed to have done something in order to have pissed them off. Like at least have seen the Grandmaster's face. Something to have made it needed for them to destroy his life. And he just didn't.
He was wearing a mask that looked like Michael Fassbender as well. It obviously wasn't because of the... I think me taking it just as the fact that it was so weird, and that it's a bit like Falling, like we've already met Michael Douglas films, bringing Falling Down into this as well. Obviously a better film than this. But how it's all so surreal, and was it actually real? Because no normal person goes as insane as that. Like none of this stuff made any sense at all, and it seems like the derangements of someone's mind. And because I think if it wasn't Kubrick, maybe that's what I wouldn't have thought that way. But that's just what I couldn't get out of my head from the very start. Like when they're both looking at each other when they're dancing with, he's with the dancing women and she's with that old bloke, leching over her, and none of this makes any sense. Like, none of this can be real.
Yeah, I agree. I do. I think it is because it's Kubrick that it's had the modern... I mean, I know I'm jumping ahead to the modern reassessment of the film, but it has had a modern reassessment and seen as something of a masterpiece. But I think it's very much on the fact that it's Kubrick and you expect more. And because he died and this is his final film, there's a little bit of trying to find meaning in his final film that I feel like it's a bit of a reach, because this film is campy, it's stupid, it's silly. Tom Cruise looks like a Playmobil character throughout most of it. He's not... the thing with Tom Cruise is very asexual. Like, I don't really see him in films with women. Even when he kisses them, like, I don't feel like he's actually going to fuck them, because I feel like he's probably an action man down there, because he's just got no sexuality when you look at him in most of his films. And this is no different, but it's a film about sex and you can't do that. So it doesn't work. But I feel like you expect it to have these hidden messages because it's Stanley Kubrick, the man with a mythos. I just don't think it works for me. And it feels like it's the kind of pretentious film student film favourite. Like, it's not slow paced. It's a dream logic movie. It's not badly acted. It's all about alienation. These silly rituals. It's an allegory, actually. And when it's just a bit shit underneath it all, I think is my main problem with it. And it's just too fucking long. 2 hours 40 is a disgrace for this length of film. Just too long. which isn't surprising because it's the longest ever shoot of any film. 15 months, over 400 days, apparently, to film this absolute fucking turd. Kubrick died 6 days after screening the cut to Cruise Kidman and Warner Brothers, which has created speculation that the film wasn't finished. The MPAA had a battle over the orgy scene. So they wanted an R rating, apparently. So in America, an R rating means that absolutely anybody can see that film as long as there's an adult there. So you could be 5 years old and you can see this film as long as you're with an adult, which just seems fucking ridiculous. They've got NC-17 as a rating, which is nobody under the age of 17, effectively R-18 movie. But studios don't want an NC-17 because Showgirls was, I don't know if it was the first, but it was one of the first NC-17s, and it bombed. So I think that studios shy away from NC-17s because they assume that people just won't go to see them. Whereas R-rated films, everybody is available to see them effectively. So they wanted this R rating, and they had problems over a scene of a man bumming a woman and nudity and implied penetration. So just properly mundane stuff, to be perfectly honest. We've definitely seen films that have gone further in the 90s than this. I mean, I'd probably argue that Leaving Las Vegas went further, and that was R-rated. But yeah, they had this problem. Because Kubrick died, his editor took the battle on, and his solution was to digitally add some hooded figures to block some of the sexual acts in that scene. So that's why it looks very stilted, because it's not real. Like, there's people who aren't actually there. There is a conspiracy theory about Helena, the daughter. So if you go on Reddit, there's a massive faction of viewers who believe that the ending of the film is actually way darker than just a couple having an awkward chat in a toy store. They believe that Bill and Alice are actually selling their daughter Helena to the elite cabal. Their evidence is that it sounds like... So Bill and Alice are talking. Helena walks down this aisle towards two older men in suits, and conspiracy theorists pointed out that these look like they were people who were at Ziegler's party. So they think that they've sold their daughter so that the cabal leaves them behind. With absolutely no theory behind it. It's just that they're walking in that general direction. So that's what they think. And of course, because in the real world, we have the paedophile president and the paedophile prince and their pal Jeffrey Epstein. So now, all these years later, they look like they've actually been found to have actually found something, and Kubrick was trying to send a message out to the world of these cabal of paedophiles buying people's children. So yeah, and this cabal then, so because he died 6 days after the release of the cut to the studio, these people killed him. It wasn't because he was 70 years old and had been working non-stop 18 hours a day for 400 fucking days. No, it was because these people had him killed because they saw the final cut and didn't want the message to get out. Okay, then. So, does he run? Like, his movement's quite slow throughout this, and I think it's intentional, or at least badly made. But there is one jog that I did notice where he's jogging for a taxi. He almost looks like Mr. Soft, the way that he's bouncing for some reason. Very strange. Does he take his shirt off? I mean, not only does he take his shirt off, I thought we were going to see Tiny Tim for a moment. I thought we were going to see his old fella at that point in the film. It was a little bit too close for comfort. No sunglasses, though, because it's all shot at night, isn't it? No explosions. It's all psychological, not physical. Cruise doing Cruise things, the stunts and tropes you associate with Tom Cruise. This might be the least Cruisey performance he's done. As I've said, he's repressed, he's jealous, he's insecure, and he's the passenger in this film. Like, there's nothing proactive about Tom Cruise in this movie. Everything happens to him, and he just rolls with it. That's not a very Tom Cruise thing. There are no reports about Tom Cruise spending any time. No swinging, no sex with AIDS women, no time with cooks, nothing. I'm quite disappointed in him, to be perfectly honest. There are no sexual subculture work from Cruise on this movie. He's done fucking everything else, so I'm genuinely surprised he didn't just go to some swingers club and just hang around in the back room talking to folks. Strange.
That's probably why he was wanking this movie. He didn't sit in a cook chair for 6 months.
This is it, yeah. He never learned the role, did he? His thoughts on this film. He's been very respectful of working with Kubrick and his process. He's never really gone into much depth about the film, just saying it was a grueling shoot, which 400 days, yeah, it fucking is. Because Kubrick died before the film was released, there's not really much about his thoughts on working with Cruise, but the DP, Director of Photography, Larry Smith, has said that Cruise and Kidman were committed and willing to partake in Kubrick's style with the high number of takes and expanded film duration. Scientology Watch then up next. So we're in 1999, the end of 1999. So because behind the scenes on Eyes Wide Shut, it's a literal Cold War that is going on for the mind and heart and soul of Tom Cruise. So he'd been married to Nicole Kidman at this point for nearly a decade, and during those years, Cruise had drifted away from the church. He wasn't attending meetings, he wasn't doing auditing sessions, and then Stanley Kubrick locks Tom and Nicole away in London for, as I said, 400-day shoot. Back in LA, the supreme leader of the entire cult, David Miscavige, who was famously Tom's best man at his wedding, is hitting the panic button at this point. He's calling Tom daily. Tom just isn't answering. The church realise that they are completely losing their crown jewel celebrity to his non-Scientologist wife. So what would a multi-million-dollar cult do? According to high-ranking church defectors like Marty Rathburn, Miscavige learnt an all-out operation to crash the marriage.
No.
So because Nicole Kidman's father was a prominent psychologist, the church officially labelled her as a potential trouble source. In 1999, while the couple were filming Kubrick's film, the church allegedly hired private investigators to heavily wiretap Nicole Kidman's phones. They wanted dirt, and they wanted to know if she was trying to deprogram Tom, and they went to feed Tom's own secrets to Miscavige to make him paranoid. They've even reportedly worked to brainwash the couple's adoptive children, Connor and Isabella, to turn them against Nicole. It's incredibly dark, really. It's a systematic demolition of a Hollywood marriage orchestrated entirely from the shadows during the production of this movie. And it worked. Within less than 2 years of Eyes Wide Shut in the theatres, Tom and Nicole were divorced. Miscavige successfully reindoctrinated Cruise, stepping in to effectively dictate who Tom could talk to, date, and hire from that point moving forward. From 1999 onwards, Cruise was fully brought back into the fold, with Miscavige cementing his role as the ultimate puppet master in Tom's personal and professional lives. But the church wasn't just fighting for Tom Cruise in the late 90s. They were about to ignite a multi-decade war with pop culture. Looking ahead to 2001, Matt Stone and Trey Parker over at South Park would fire their very first warning shot in the episode Super Best Friends. They introduced a parody cult called Blaintology and openly skewered L. Ron Hubbard for the first time on television. It was the absolute catalyst for a decades-long war between South Park and Scientology, a war that we will almost certainly be coming back to, because there's at least another 2 episodes where they got their panties in a twist over it. So the Big 3 award update. So cumulatively to Joe Maguire, 22 wins, 58 nominations for films that Cruise featured in. We need to add a Golden Globe nomination for Jocelyn Pook. She was nominated for original score, which I did actually think was quite good in this. No Razzies, which surprised me because I thought this was a bit of a turkey. But yeah, hey-ho. The response critically at the time was mixed to negative. Critics found it puzzling, slow, opaque, and audiences were let down by its lack of eroticism. Roger Ebert said it was a compelling film, but not a masterpiece because the pacing was off. Kenneth Turan said that the film was cold, distant, and emotionally inert. The budget and box office, $65 million budget, which gives us a cumulative total of $627.8 million. And the box office return was $162.1 million, which gives us a cumulative total of $3,354 million. I feel like this... Yeah, I know. But I feel like this was probably... It feels like this was the death of the erotic thriller. Because like you said, Stu, we don't get these kind of films anymore. And I like an erotic thriller because it feels like it's the... Erotic thrillers are like neo-noirs to me. They're that sort of... It's a noir film in the modern day. It's a colour version of what you would expect in that. It's the closest I think we got to it. And I feel like this was the end of it because it was the biggest stars in the world. And yeah, it did well, but at the time, the critical response was shit. The audience response wasn't great either. So I feel like this put a bit of a stop to anything of that genre for quite some time.
50 Shades, maybe, when he came back?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the next time that it comes to, but that's quite a different film still, isn't it? But you are right, like, I don't feel like we get... Like, sexy films don't feel like they're they're quite made to the same regularity that they were, especially during the 90s.
You see the other one, the 365 Din?
I remember hearing about it, but I never saw it.
That was actually all right. It was a lot more risque than 50 Shades, but it might have as well been porn with a storyline, but
all right, okay.
That's the point of them, really. But it was. I mean, it was on Netflix as well.
All right, okay. I vaguely remember it being around because there was a bit of a rumble about it, but I never got around to it. But I think, like, during the 90s, it was a bit of a classic period. So I'm just looking at a list of like the kind of films that came out around that time. Fatal Attraction was 87. And I think that's probably like one of the peaks of this kind of a film. Presumed Innocent, Shattered, Sleeping with the Enemy, Consenting Adults, Single White Female, Unlawful Entry, Poison Ivy, The Crush, Dream Lover, The Last Seduction, Colour of Night, which is a very funny film when you see Bruce Willis's penis. But like we had quite a few. Basic Instincts as well, another one that we had a lot of these films, these, as I say, these erotic thrillers that they were big bucks back in the 90s, and they all seem to go away by the time this film hit the cinema screens. It's a shame, really. I think that's the problem with the cinema, though, because it did become quite homogenised during the 2000s, didn't it? So maybe that's all it was. But yeah. Anyway, Stu, Cage or Cruise?
I mean, this has got Nicolas Cage written all over it. This kind of mad shit is like, it's catnip to him. I mean, perfect.
Yeah, it does. Like, if we go with the dreamlike scenario in this one, we've seen Cage doing Vampire's Kiss at this point, where he's giving these big, silly performances. And I think Cruise is too passive in this film. And I think someone like Cage, who would be a bit more proactive in the role. Yeah, I agree. I think it's Cage's all day. Ash?
Yeah, it has to be. I think Cage would have brought something that would have made this film a bit better as well. Like that zane, it probably needed that little bit of zaniness in a sense. Like, no, I'm not saying like throw a pie or something like that, but just a little bit of even just like the fucking eye twitch, a fucking eyebrow raise, or something like that. Just a little bit of humor or something to that extent. Like even when he's getting told the girl's got the AIDS, like you can imagine Nick Cage with a fucking hand on a tit and a fucking little eyebrow raised when he gets told. That would have made it at least enjoyable in that sense.
I reckon he would have loved something like this. Because he's the kind of actor, like we've spoken about several times, he likes something weird. I'm almost certain he would have begged Kubrick to let him take his dick out in a scene as well. Because that's just the kind of actor Cage is, that he would have done something that would have been more than what we got here. So, yeah. Is Cruise the saviour of cinema or just another sinner then, Ash?
Sinner. No. It's been a good run. Like continuous saviour, but this, I can't say he's the saviour in this. He's a sinner. This is the worst film for a long while.
Stu?
Yeah, even though I enjoyed this, somehow, he was not good in this. He was... I think she was better than him. Not just the bit where she's smashed up and she's sitting on the floor. She was all right. She was pretty good there. But like, they haven't really got much to work with, considering it's how long it is. But he doesn't seem like he's all there. He's not, like you just said, like the research and the usual nonsense that goes into these kind of things. To not do any of that at all, unless he is in that world anyway. That it's just a bit odd. So, but no, not for me.
Yeah, he's a sinner. Like, as I've said a couple of times, he's the biggest star in the world at this point. He's pulling in $20 million a film, and he fucking spends 2 years filming this nonsense. Like, we could have got some good shit in this period of time, and we didn't. We got fucking Eyes Wide Shut 3 years after Jerry Maguire. It just isn't good enough, and then it ruined his marriage as well. So, no. It's interesting, because I'm just looking on IMDb at the ratings. As far as audience reviews, this is the second highest, or joint second highest reviewed film of the 90s. Oh, we've got Magnolia as well. That's 99 apparently as well. So yeah, joint third then. So Magnolia's with an 8, Few Good Men 7.8, Eyes Wide Shut 7.5. I genuinely think Stanley Kubrick's name is doing all the heavy lifting here. I think people see that name and they're assuming it's better than it is, because I just don't get it. But it's a very highly rated film that I just don't see it, and I think he's quite bad in it. He's let himself down here. If you enjoyed Eyes Wide Shut, you may also like Stu.
It's not really the same, but it's a similar kind of vibe. Beau is Afraid.
Mm-hmm. It's an
Fucked
interesting
up.
choice.
Fucked up. Need to get Ed to watch Beau is Afraid.
I know, yeah. It's an interesting film because I sort of get it because it's not a hidden cabal, but there is some kind of hidden force behind it all.
Mm.
So yeah, that's an, I never even considered that one. Ash?
Emmanuel.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or outside of the box, I'm mentioning it again. Well, yeah, you know. Inception. Is it a dream? Is it not a dream?
Mm.
I mean, you can pick any film, any film. You'll have a better time than this nonsense. Say you could easily just go on Pornhub and pick any fucking thing, and you'll have all the fun in the world compared to this crap.
Yeah, I mean, God, I remember on How Did This Get Made? There was a film, and the only way you could find the film, it wasn't available on any streaming service or anything. The only place that had it was Pornhub, and it wasn't even a porn film. I can't remember what the fuck it was. It was terrible, but it was very funny. Showgirls, I think, like Eyes Wide Shut, it's a film that was hated and then has been given a campy re-evaluation in the modern day. The difference is that deserves it, whereas this doesn't. The Invite, which I saw last night in the real world, that's a film about sex and sexuality that's fun and funny and, most importantly, a little bit sexy. And if you want to see Kubrick at his best, The Shining, I think that's probably his best work. But then again, I do think Kubrick's got some very good films, but I think The Shining is his masterpiece. Mm. Right, so what have we got coming up next week? Oh, so it's Magnolia next week, then, is the big one. I'm really looking forward to this one. This is one that I haven't seen, but I do like Paul Thomas Anderson as a director. The cast is absolutely fucking stellar. Cruise, Julianne Moore, Neil Flynn, if you're a fan of Scrubs like myself, he's in there. Patton Oswalt's in there. It's got some good names in this one, so I'm really looking forward to seeing this one. If I remember correctly, isn't Talladega Nights, not Will Ferrell, his brother, John C. Reilly. Is he the one who's in this one, if I remember correctly? Possibly. I can't remember. But yeah, I am looking forward to this. I've heard such good things. It's rated at 8, which is got to be close to being in the top 250. It is 3 hours, 8 minutes, so I'm hoping it's worth it.
Doesn't feel like it.
That's good. But I am really looking forward to this one. An epic mosaic of interrelated characters search for love, forgiveness, and meaning in the San Fernando Valley. I am intrigued. I can't wait to see it. I know it's very highly regarded, so fingers crossed it doesn't disappoint. As I said, we will try and get another Christopher Nolan short film, if not, it'll be The Disappearance of Willie Bingham. Next week, what are we going to be discussing? Christopher Nolan. So because it's going to be Odyssey month, I think we'll spend a couple of weeks talking about Chris Nolan, and we'll review the Odyssey once that's been out. And we also need to fit in at some point Spider-Man review. And also we'll need to talk about Tom Cruise in the 1990s, because we'll be done with him after next week. So we've got quite a lot of stuff that we need to pack in over the next 3 weeks or so. But yeah, that'll be us done. If you want to get in contact, it's at cagefightingpod on the socials and cagefightingpod@gmail.com if you want to send any emails. Make sure you subscribe to whatever podcatcher that you listen to us on so that you don't miss an episode. And if you could leave us a review, that would help other people find us too. And we would really appreciate that if you did. For this week, Ash, would you like to say goodbye?
Staying up until 4 a.m. to watch football isn't impressive. I'm a wrestling fan. We do it monthly. Bye.
Stu, would you like to say goodbye?
We'll be Englishmen in New York soon. Goodbye.
It's goodbye from me too. And remember, be excellent to each other.